It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is three professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm your sort of little lower energy host. My name is Josh, one of your co-hosts, and I'm here with a couple of other co-hosts, and this is a podcast where we take listener/user questions and we answer them in definitive ways. Caleb, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Gabe?
Pretty good. Why are you feeling low energy, Josh? Why did you introduce yourself?
I started
pigeonholed
talking.
yourself
I
in
started
that way.
talking, and I was like, "Huh, this is interesting." I'm not putting on the facade that I usually do.
Well, you know,
There's-
low energy can be a good thing.
It can be.
You know, like Bluetooth low energy, that's a technology. BLE, that's
Okay.
a technology that's been used, and it doesn't take up as much energy.
Okay, that is good. So I guess
Okay.
I'm helping everybody out by not taking up as much energy.
It's Josh.
It's helping me.
Yeah,
I have room to grow.
yeah. Well, you can finally get a word in edgewise.
It's his Earth Day resolution to use less energy.
It's today Earth Day.
No,
Yeah,
it was not too long ago. It's maybe 5
But
or 6
today was
days ago.
Earth Day not too long
But-
ago.
Yeah, it
they
used
changed
to be.
it.
Today used to be Earth Day, but they changed it to Earth yesterday.
Wow. Right, because they're like, it's done. It's gone.
Yeah,
It's
we're living in the
yesterday.
past. If you're living on Earth, you're living in the past.
What? Hold on. Can you explain that a little more?
I don't have to. It's
Earth
not
is
my
dead.
tagline.
The Earth is sick.
They're saying that. They're saying
Yeah.
if you're living on Earth, you're living in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People are saying
Elon
that.
Musk is saying
People-
that.
they
Okay.
will not shut.
Hold
up.
on. Did you say Elon Musk?
Yeah. He's a furry.
Oh.
I think he might actually be much worse than that.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Then
I
the-
should say
he's
like
worse than the actual
he's-
Elon Musk.
he's a reverse furry in that Elon Musk is a cat in a man suit.
And I see that's
Elon Musk.
yeah.
Feline.
I thought that the globalist leaders were typically lizards in human suits, but that's
Yeah, he can't. He's
not
he's
true.
not.
That's
Well,
what
yeah,
we're-
that's why he's going after all the other globalists.
oh okay.
He's hungry.
Right. He's a big cat. Is he a big cat or is he a little bitty
He's actually the
cat?
smallest cat we've ever heard of.
Okay.
He's the Guinness World Book of Records. If you
Uh-huh.
look it up, the smallest cat, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Feline Musk.
Yeah.
So,
So-
now, no. That's just getting confusing because I thought it was. I thought we had two different guys. One's Elon Musk. He's a furry. He's a guy in a cat suit, and Elon Musk is a cat in a guy suit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Now
Sorry,
understand.
I just tend to say yes to what Gabe's offering me.
Well,
and-
Gabe is usually right, and so it's a good default position.
You're starting to sound like my wife over here.
Wow. Oh, that's nice for you.
Does she-
It's very nice.
Can I
It's-
ask you a question, Gabe? Does she say that like Gabe is usually right?
She says Gabe is mostly right most of the time.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty good.
That is.
That's
That's,
good.
I feel like
that's
I'm
really
doing
good.
pretty good.
Wow.
It's my secret ingredient for a happy marriage.
Mhm.
Oh,
Is-
it's not so secret.
Be right.
Yeah. Just to be correct.
Be correct.
Come correct. Be right.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Brainwash your wife into thinking
No.
you're mostly right
It's really
most of the time.
It's not brainwashing. It totally
Yeah.
fits more in the gaslighting sort
Yeah.
of
A
category.
gaslighting
Okay, I
slash
see.
mind cleaning kind of.
Yeah.
Mind cleaning?
Yep.
What's that?
Windex in
Is
your
that-
ear.
Oh, really? Sounds like
Well,
it wouldn't
I
be a
don't-
good idea.
That's one theory.
Well, the father from my big
And-
fat Greek wedding would agree with me.
Why hasn't Windex caught on to this and started selling a product called Mindex?
That's-
They
that'll be
would
good.
literally just have to flip the one
Yeah, that's
letter
true.
around.
Yeah.
And they've got a whole new line,
Yeah.
market,
Yep.
all that.
And if they, you just mentioned my big fat Greek wedding.
Mhm.
I've never seen it. What does that have to do? With,
Oh, her father thinks Windex cleans everything, helps everything. He
Okay.
sprays it on wounds and
Is
different things like that. And
is-
then the morning of the wedding, her betrothed
Uh-huh.
wakes up and has he gets a zit
Gotcha.
and he sprays Windex on it, and as it goes away, it runs away.
The Zit runs. Is that it's an animated?
It's the movie kind
Inclusion?
of does this weird thing where it like you know in Jurassic Park when they're doing the little like intro
With the DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
You're
Dino
Dino
DNA.
DNA. Yeah. So it does like the movie stops down and they go to a theater and they watch a video of this guy Zit running away.
That's what David Attenborough says. Richard Attenborough.
David Attenborough's brother
Yeah,
though.
it
Yeah,
is.
that's
It's
crazy.
You're not wrong about that. Now, the Windex thing, is that like a classic Greek trope? Why is that in
Yeah.
the movie?
Well, it's in the Iliad.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
it goes-
Remember the Iliad?
Well, what's interesting is that there are
The
two
Windex
characters.
Blue Sea.
There are two characters named Ajax,
that's-
which is of course popular
The cleaning
cleaning agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's just part of their
Maybe we
culture.
should. I just had a crazy idea, and I don't know if it's good. But what if we turned all of the secret agents that have been messing stuff up for our country
Right.
into cleaning agents?
Cleaning agents.
Okay.
If we had, instead of an intelligence community, just some kind of cleaning,
Yeah.
if they were just kind of window washers and
Yeah. The
floor
CIA
cleaners.
becomes the cleaning it up agency.
Yeah, they're
And
just
it
literally
up
cleaning.
is that there's a hyphen, cleaning it up.
Yeah.
CI.
And up is spelled AUP.
No, because agency's still part of it.
yeah.
Because they're cleaning agents.
Yeah,
So the
okay.
it up is just it dash up.
How about
It hyphen
how about
up.
cleaning an agency?
No.
Yeah,
Good, no,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, I like that. Cleaning it.
No, I think cleaning it up because you want it. There needs to be a sense of it's like it's leaving, it's going somewhere.
Well, if I said I'm cleaning my room, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well,
What do you think that means?
I literally
I'm just-
think it means
oh,
you
it's-
walk in there with a power washer and
Yeah.
you're just hosing everything down.
Okay.
That's when you say cleaning my room.
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
Okay. Well,
Speaking of cleaning our rooms, we have a question today from someone who used to make us do that.
Try.
Used to make us. Yeah, well, hold on. You both kind of backed away from that assertion.
she wanted us to.
She did want us to, and she would frequently. I'm not saying she always made us clean our rooms.
Yeah.
But there were certainly a time or two where she was like, "Okay, this
And
room has to
I
be
said
cleaned."
I just said try,
Yeah.
which is that could be applied to she tried
Right.
to make us clean our room,
Mama tried.
or she made us try to clean our room.
Right.
And that I feel like that actually covers both.
Both of those.
Both covers all of it. Both covers it all.
Both covers all
Both
of
covers a multitude of alls.
Yeah, that's true.
it.
In this case, the one all.
Yes.
the
But
singular all.
and at this point, it could be with our family dynamic, at least on the lower half of the family the part that I fit in here,
Right.
is
the undercarriage
is
of the
this,
family.
Right.
She made us clean our room, or try to clean our room. Is it our mom or one of our sisters?
Right.
That actually doesn't narrow it down a
Yeah.
ton. Because
It
we had a
doesn't.
sister who was obsessed with us cleaning our room.
Seemingly. Not me.
right.
Yeah. I don't know if she kind of had reached that part of her career while
No.
I was still
She
living
could
at home.
never
I don't
have
think she,
held that over you. She didn't have. You had the power. You had the power.
I had all the, I had
Yeah.
wow. So I wish I had known that. I think I did feel somewhat enthralled to my 7 years younger sister.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Really?
I don't know.
And Gabe, you're cleaning. This is when, because you must have changed how you think what cleaning your room is.
I just never felt like I had the appropriate equipment growing up.
That's what held you
How
back.
can I clean my room without a power washer, Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, we can get more into that later.
I'm
but-
sure we'll talk about
Yeah.
it more. Let's hear the question, though, right?
Let's do it.
Greetings to you professional people at Advanced Answering Techniques. I have a question. I am often bombarded with this advertising tagline from anything from coloring books for grown-ups, are all different kinds of crafts. They're always urging me to participate in these crafts because they will unleash my creativity. My question is, will they unleash my creativity? And do I actually want them to unleash my creativity? It sounds like something might get loose or something. Anyway, thanks for answering my question.
That's it. That's the question from our mother. Will any of the things that are advertised as unleashing your creativity actually do that, and do you even want them to?
It's so great, just the amount of support at the end there, where
Right.
she says, "Thanks for answering my question." To have that faith that we
That
will
we-
answer the question.
As I think she has done, listen to past episodes and still believe.
Still believe that she'll receive an answer.
She'll get an answer.
Sure, she'll get a response.
I mean, what is a response
Yeah.
but an answer?
all answers are responses, but not all responses are answers.
And she's definitely listened to the beginning of the podcast because she described us as professional people.
Yeah.
Which is part of the intro to the
True.
podcast. Is we are described as professional people.
Well, I mean, most people have a profession, but we don't have professions. I mean, I certainly don't. But we are people, and that's actually our profession.
Yeah. First and foremost, person.
I've done my 10,000 hours. I'm a master person
Yeah.
at this point.
I'm an outlier.
Isn't it funny how you can do many of the things that make you a person your whole life? You can get to, well, certainly at my stage, a pretty advanced stage, and still feel like you really haven't uncovered like everything that you really could be doing in it. Like, for instance, I am always impressed with kind of the level at which I tie my shoes. That I shouldn't say impressed. I'm kind of depressed because it's
okay.
like
Well.
it's like fine, but I'm not like great at tying my shoes. They don't look like particularly competent. But I've been doing it for so long, and I don't seem to have reached a height.
You plateaued with your shoe tying.
Seems like it. There's lots of things like that.
That happens with
in life.
age
Yeah.
and brain plasticity. There's just a certain limit,
Yeah.
and now you're just kind of stuck with those poor excuses for.
Yeah.
No.
I can show you a new way to tie your shoes.
Well, I have been hearing a number of adults who have only ever done, I guess, 2 bunny ears, and I've never did it that way. Don't know what that is. Do
This
you-
way is so fast.
Yeah.
It's literally 2
Yeah.
moves.
Okay.
It's awesome. I
Okay.
don't do it every time.
Yeah.
Because it's like special time.
Yeah.
You know, if you do it every time, then it's not special.
It,
anymore.
I
You're just
no,
gonna
it
lose
is
the
no
wonder.
longer a feet treat
Right.
if you do it too often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my feet get excited when I do it too.
Yeah. You get happy feet.
Mm-hmm.
Turn that on.
Oh yeah.
Realize how truly odd that film is,
It's an odd one.
and tie your shoes. Takes about 87 minutes. It's a whole process.
I thought it was 2 moves.
They
Well,
are-
yeah. It's really fast, but then every time if I get happy feet and I have to watch the film.
At any rate,
Yeah. I was waiting for you to tell me what. The
yeah.
2
What
moves
is the
are.
move? Or what? Tell me one move, and then give me
It's
the other
not
one.
going to
right
make
after.
any sense
Okay.
to talk about it.
Okay. It can only be shown.
It
I'm
can only be
interested.
shown.
Okay.
It's kind of like esoteric knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have to be experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's actually graven on the walls of the Egyptian tombs, this
Whoa.
technique.
And in a way,
And one always thought of them as wearing sandals.
well, they lost the esoteric information.
It's kind of a prophetic thing, yeah.
Yeah. So one day, one will arise who has 2 moves.
Wink,
has
wink.
shoes and 2 moves. Shoes with
Hey,
laces.
Look, I'm here. Who has
Okay.
two moves and shoes, and I'm all out of shoes.
So I'm gonna tie,
Now I'm gonna do my moves.
but you don't have any shoes.
No.
Well, yeah. I just came up with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, you were.
I didn't have it all
You
figured
were
out.
headed down a specific line, and that you did make some moves there.
Yeah.
That you made 2 moves that I think made it
Yeah.
hard to get back.
Basically, yeah. Yes. Yep.
When someone tells you that you're going to unleash your creativity, is that generally? Have you ever found that to work? First of all, have you guys ever tried anything like that? Have you tried, say, using a coloring book to unleash your creativity?
See, this is immediately where my head went. Is like, so you're gonna unleash your creativity by getting a book filled with pictures that are already drawn. So your creativity is choosing which colors go where.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's. I mean, that's. I
okay.
creativity. I mean, how are we gonna even define it?
Yeah. What is it?
That's gonna be.
We
what
do need
is
to
it?
define it. What is
Creativity.
creativity?
What is it?
I would say it is the act of making something new, something that has not existed. You're going to put it into being. That could be any number of different media, could be any number of forms within these various media. But that's what the act is to make something
And so,
new.
in the case of the coloring page,
Yes.
the curious case of the adult coloring page, and it's a coloring page for adults.
Yeah.
Let's be
Yes,
clear
right.
about that. And it's not because of the content of the
content,
coloring
yeah, yeah.
page. It's just
It's it is
well,
because
it
of the
is,
content.
'cause it's
Yeah.
not
It's really complex.
Spider-Man.
There's
or-
just there's all kinds of things going all different places. It's
Well,
really
Yeah, no, I mean,
complicated.
it is complicated.
it's a coloring page about taxes. Okay, let's just say
Right.
that.
Yeah.
It's
or something.
Yep, here's a 1040.
Yeah, it's a 10 It's
Yep.
the IRS. They put out new forms every year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
New versions with
Mm-hmm.
different line items and stuff.
So yeah,
and
you get to color
get the
a
coloring
tax
page.
Yep.
form.
And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
will hardly ever describe that to you as a way to unleash your creativity.
No, they hardly ever.
Yeah.
But it is
crush
cool
your soul.
because part of the seal does have a nude statue on it.
That's true. So in that way, it is an adult.
it is rather adult.
yeah.
page. But anyway, so in this case, with what Josh had said, I don't know, 5 minutes ago about it
Yeah.
being making something new.
Right.
If you're filling in, you're choosing the colors that go in between the specific lines
Mm.
on the coloring page.
Yeah.
You're using an already existent crayon, or if you're an adult, you're probably using something like a colored pencil,
Right.
and you're using this page. Those things have already been made, but together you're going to combine them to make something new. Nobody else would color the page the way that you will.
Right.
And in this way, you've
And
unleashed your creativity.
So that's one possibility. But I wonder if it's almost like the act of coloring this page, that is not necessarily where you're unleashing your creativity, but it's a greater promise to somehow
in the other avenues of
in
life.
other avenues of life, if you will only color this page or work through this adult
Yeah.
coloring book, you will become creative. You will somehow unleash creativity in other areas of life.
This is giving me a great idea.
It's
would-
unleashed Caleb's creativity already.
my entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which requires
I don't think of it as
making
creative.
of something new.
I don't think of it as creative. I think it is just problem solving.
Yeah.
Um,
In some ways, the creative act is exclusively problem solving.
I think of it as like a math problem that I'm solving.
Yeah.
And I don't think of that as creative.
Mhm.
There's other stuff I think of as creative, which is like, well, I'm not going to talk about it. But
Yeah.
on this topic, for this issue,
Right.
what I'm going to do, if you want to use an adult, a coloring book for adults
Mm-hmm.
that will actually help the person become more creative,
Yes.
I think what you do is you kind of make the pictures kind of like not very good, so they get confidence that why am I even? Why am I
could
even?
make-
Yeah, I could do
make a
this.
better.
Yeah.
Yes, you would. You could be the little the kernel of sand in the oyster that causes a whole generation of people
Yeah.
to create new coloring books.
It's like the tagline is like frustratingly inconsistent.
Yeah.
And so you get the book and it's like some of them like most of the picture looks okay and there's just a section that's
Yeah.
really doesn't look good. Like there's a rabbit and like most of it looks okay, but then like the it looks like a puddle at the bottom.
I think you could also have some of it be scenes of you as the coloring book creator failing to effectively create the coloring book.
Yeah, yeah.
Too.
I'm drawing. It's like an MC Escher.
Yeah, it's
But-
like
bad.
you know, kind of snaggletooth and cross-eyed,
Yeah.
like trying to like make the pictures for the coloring book, and then interacting with the printer and screwing that up, like getting your clothes kind of caught in the printer and becoming a problem there. You're trying to incorporate your business and you're spilling ink all over the, you know, the documents of incorporation, this kind of thing. And so you could invigorate others to you could kind of show them what the route looks like and some of the things they ought not do if they want to
Be
unleash
creative.
their
Unleash
creativity.
their creativity, not get gummed up in the works of
Right.
entrepreneurship.
Get stuck in the printer.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound
Get
like that.
smashed up, get all the letters pushed in your face.
Yeah.
That does sound like it could be good, but I was gonna go a different way where it is a rabbit and the bottom does look like a puddle.
Right.
So is what I said,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of
Well, I
sticking
thought maybe
to
that could
that.
be one picture in a coloring book. And
No.
then maybe we could add some of the ideas that I came up with.
Is it
No,
just one
as
page?
additional other-
There's
No, it's
the
not just one
oh, okay.
page. It's a
just
lot of pages of
of
that
the
idea.
rabbit with the-
Different rabbits,
different rabbits, different puddles.
different puddles.
Okay.
I mean, different rabbits, same puddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
probably
then maybe one different one.
one different one. What would that be? What would the one different one be?
It would be like a bad MC Escher where everything looks normal.
So yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of some kind. So like in other words,
It's like a staircase.
staircase.
It's just a functional staircase.
Yeah.
You're like, if you start here, you end up there.
Mhm.
That's a staircase.
Makes sense.
Good job.
A man drawing. It's a picture of a man drawing a pear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of a Penrose triangle, it's just a triangle.
Yep.
Did he do the clocks too?
That's Dolly, right?
Dolly?
The dripping
That's
Yeah,
clocks.
Dolly. The dripping clocks is Dolly. Also the swans.
Yeah.
Swan elephant.
Yep.
I like that one a lot.
And Louis Armstrong, that's Hello, Dolly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry for that little sidetrack there.
That's
No,
okay.
no, we love
got
it.
away from the rabbit.
That's
The-
fine. We
the
did get
melting
away from the
clocks.
rabbits, and we also got away from my bad suggestion that that couldn't be incorporated into Caleb's
Yeah.
initial suggestion.
It just does. It's not quite what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit into my
Right.
my whole.
I know.
idea.
Why
But
would we? Why would we try to work with it?
So
at
the
all?
idea was if you have these bad, I'm still trying to see the value of bad coloring pages in terms of unleashing your creativity.
Because you go, well, I'll
I
just
can
make
do
my
better.
own. Yeah.
I'll make
Okay.
my own coloring book.
You're
I
not
wanna-
modifying the existing coloring pages, and then that's part of it. Is that happening?
What do you- like
Like the
half of
user?
it? Like you have to mirror the thing.
No, it's like you're gonna make him look better. You're gonna make the guy look
Yeah.
the artist that's depicted in these pictures, these coloring.
Well, I'm not
pages.
doing that.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, that was my
Okay,
idea,
yeah.
and it's not a good idea, and there was
So,
nothing we
with
could do.
okay,
with
I'm
it.
sorry. With
Look.
the rabbit puddle, with a puddle portion.
Yeah.
The rabbit's all fine. The puddle
Mhm.
portion, can you just do white out and then draw the bottom
I wouldn't
part
suggest
of a
it.
rabbit?
See, I
Okay.
think, but Caleb, it is kind of demanding about like how you use it. There's a
Yeah.
long
You're supposed to use
preamble.
So again,
You're
this,
supposed to use the lines that are there.
Well, I've always said
Okay.
this. People talk about, this has annoyed me for years. People talk about coloring outside the lines.
as a positive thing.
Why? What in the world could that mean in a positive way? When you are agreeing to fill in a picture in a coloring book, there is an unspoken contract between you and the maker of the coloring book.
Yeah.
The idea is that here are the lines. In order for the picture to look like a picture, I mean, choose whatever colors you want. Green sky, red grass.
Mine's not gonna have that either.
That's fine with me though. But ultimately the question is, what in order for this thing to work at all, your job is to color inside the lines.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that you have to do. That's the point of doing it. If you're not going to do that, draw your own picture. That's fine. There's no law that says that you can't do that. But why are you using a coloring book and then coloring outside the lines?
Yeah,
It's pointless.
It is pointless. It's a waste of time,
Yeah.
and it's disrespectful. It's
It is
disrespectful
to
the unspoken contract.
To the creative vision
Yeah.
of the coloring book maker.
And my book is going to have you have to send the book back when you're
Yeah.
done, and then I'll
Get a
tell
grade.
you what you did right and what you did wrong.
Yeah.
Because red. What did you say? Red
I
grass.
said red grass.
Yeah,
green
we're
sky.
not doing that. No. Don't. Let's not be silly. Let's
Yeah.
be creative.
And again, I'm sorry that I said something like that. I pitched something
Again,
that there's nothing
not
that there's
sufficient.
just simply
it
nothing
just
that
has
can
to be
done with
completely stopped.
Yeah.
We can't do anything with
Yeah.
that because it's just not part of what
I'm
thinking.
curious to know. So you're going to sell this book, and then is there an allotted time to complete?
No,
Okay, so it's open ended.
it. Yeah.
But what if they don't complete the book and send it back to you?
man, I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
Okay, so you don't have any action. You don't have any.
There's nothing I
recourse.
can do.
Okay, I thought it was going to be like collections or something. And you were
Well,
gonna
that's a good idea.
have like.
Well,
I don't know if I
you
want to
know.
manage that part. If you want to manage it, I'll hire you to manage
I
that
think
part.
I think one thing you might consider is that there's a deposit that's part of the
sure,
purchase of the book,
exactly. That's where I
and
was
they
headed.
could get a deposit back.
Yeah.
if they send
if
it
they
in.
send it
Oh,
in.
correct.
And this does mean
Well,
that you're going to have to. you're
Maybe you
gonna
need to have multiple deposits.
Yeah.
One that is simply
yeah,
for returning the book, and then another one that they get back if they did it right.
if they do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
a $1,500 book,
Yeah, it's $1,500.
and when they purchase it, it's like you got to get their social security number, their banking,
Yep.
and routing
25
account number.
25
all that
pages.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's 25 pages. That's really not that
Yeah.
big for color. Like a lot
We're
of
starting
coloring
off with 25
Well,
pages.
And so, and how much of that $1,500?
You can get a one that's called double stack,
Yeah.
and it's just it repeats. So it's 50 pages, but it's just the
It's
same ones.
doubles.
But you got
yeah.
Yeah. And
double
and,
stuffed.
And God help you take your life in your hands, because each instance of both of those pages has to match completely.
Right.
Like you're really now on, which some people might like living with that kind of thrill
Yeah.
as they work on a coloring book. I
When you
did-
said life in your hands, and you're absolutely right, because it is, you don't get the deposit back, but if it doesn't, if you get it wrong,
yeah.
I am going to try to kill you.
See, I really don't think this does not unleash creativity. If this is the book that Mom saw an ad
See,
for,
that's what I think.
I would
Two,
say. the
okay, I
answer
would
is
say that
no.
this is
idea.
one thing where even though of course I've said some things that can't, there's nothing that can be
Nothing.
done with them.
Sorry. Yeah.
This is a thing where I feel like once you are demanding this much investment from somebody, that it really doesn't leave them much. How are they going to start their own coloring book interest and all that?
Well,
They
yeah,
won't be able to do that.
Yeah, you got to sign a non-compete as well.
And see, that just takes it right out of the realm of feasibility.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
getting a little tricky, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I'll throw you one bone. There's one page on the back. It says, do color outside the lines.
Oh, okay. You're commanded to. So you can't color inside a single line.
No, you're not supposed
And
to.
right
color
in
inside
the
any
middle,
lines.
there's a tiny square. It's just a tiny square outlined.
No.
Oh no, okay, that's not there either. All right.
Yep.
Well, honestly,
Some of us are having
seems-
rather a rough day.
Well, and it seems like maybe we shouldn't even actually be talking about Caleb's
Right.
coloring book idea. He's not open to having a conversation
It's-
about
it's-
it,
in fact-
building anything together.
It's
so maybe we should talk about something else.
maybe good to move on
Yeah.
to another idea.
Yeah.
That's fine because
That would be good.
I feel like you guys are kind of trying to take over my idea. And,
no,
and
just offering
I'm,
suggestions, but
and
we're obviously doing it incorrectly.
I'm getting to where I'm going. Okay, this is actually sounding like it's going to really work,
Yeah.
and I don't want these guys to be able
And-
to steal the idea.
Kind of, you were really convincing yourself of your idea as you talked it through.
And you're
Right.
selling it. You are selling it in for people that would be like, I would really want him to hold me to a high standard to make sure that everything is filled out correctly, because Caleb will apply the same, harsh standards that
Harsh,
he's-
pedantic
Yeah.
rigor.
Yes. Yeah. That's a
and
good
it
way
will
of
depend
phrasing
on
it.
how I feel that day.
So, that's a whole other thing. But I don't think that Caleb's. So, Mom, don't buy Caleb's coloring
Don't
book.
whatever you do. Let's not it really hasn't spoken to Bob's question at all.
I don't think
this
so.
is
It's
a
true. It's-
possible. This is a hypothetical coloring book. It's not what's being claimed
Yep.
by most of these ads. right?
Agreed. And it does say the tagline for my coloring book is not for moms. So
Yeah. So just
sorry, Mom.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're
I
out.
love you,
Yeah.
but I definitely don't want you to get entangled in all of this legal stuff either.
Right.
It's going to be involved in the books.
yeah. I
It's a
just
book
like
for my enemies, really.
and I like thinking about what kind of like corporate structure you would need in order to take on the liability of all of this extra money that you
You're
that you will send back. Like
Holding.
it's like a really
Uh-huh.
like accounting like it's an accounting nightmare
Mm-hmm.
to have all those different
Gonna need to have some creative
Deposits.
accountants.
I think
that's
I
actually
think
the
it's-
creative
whole
accounting.
point.
Oh,
It's
okay.
essentially
It's to unleash a certain accountant's creativity.
it's almost like a bank. So like you take all this money on, and then you're investing it.
Shut
and
up!
you're-
Shh, be quiet.
Yeah, coloring bank.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea. You sometimes people send something back and you're like, this is good, but I'm gonna your money is tied up at the moment.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You
Exactly.
have it in
We
a
will-
CD.
Need to wait for
It is.
16 more months for the CD to mature, and then I can.
Yeah, once my marketing campaign
withdraw.
in India takes off, then
Yeah,
I'll be able
right.
to get you your money back.
So the ultimate question, we have two questions. The ultimate question that we still haven't really dealt with that's at the center is, do these things actually unleash anyone's creativity? Do they do that? That's Mom's question. A coloring book, other
what-
crafts,
other crafts.
do
Yeah.
they unleash your
I
creativity?
mean, I think about this a lot with, sometimes it's easier to get something done, and I know that's different than being creative.
Yeah.
But if you have some limitations,
Yes.
directions, like lines in which to color,
Right.
that can be helpful for accomplishing a thing. And maybe you get into the habit of accomplishing something, and it gives you that I can do this attitude to your own creative endeavors.
Yeah.
And there's something with crafts where you're tinkering, and tinkering can be good
Yes.
for getting those
In
creative.
where are you tinkering?
You I know you like
Yeah.
to say stuff like that. I don't know why. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to touch that.
I think in general you're
Anywhere.
tinkering in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. I was hoping that.
I'm just not.
I
even
don't
gonna
usually
speak to
tinker
that.
with my crafts. I just make them. But
Yeah.
But you know what I mean when
There
I say
is a
tinkering.
tinkering, like you're like making small adjustments. Even if you're following the rules, you're following the directions, you will still probably have to make small adjustments.
Small
oh, you guys
adjustments.
mean tinkling?
No, I think
No.
you're confused about
Yeah.
which word is which.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and we can work with that. See,
Yeah.
Josh and I, we're actually going to be totally willing to take that idea on board. That maybe it's tinkling when you're talking about like making fine adjustments. And
Yeah.
That's good. I think you're right.
maybe, and maybe it's tinkering is using the toilet.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what you're
right.
saying. Okay,
That's
but
what you just said, and you're right.
So yeah, in other words, we're
Sure.
more than willing to
we'll swap out.
take on some of your
Yeah.
ideas and use them in what we're talking about.
No, that's great. It's I just
Even if they seem initially wrong to us, we don't really agree with them. We will still find a way to
make it happen.
make it part of
Yeah.
what we're doing.
So when you're tinkling with a craft and
Yeah.
you are, making these fine adjustments, sometimes you can get into like a flow state, right? You can sort of
Yeah.
lose yourself in that thing,
Uh-oh.
and
Gonna have to head to the bathroom and tinker if I
tinkling
lose
and
myself.
flow and all this. I mean, there's endless
Yeah.
opportunities. Anyway, I kind of forgot where I was headed with that.
Yeah.
I think that it's not without its value,
Right.
in terms of unleashing your creativity.
It does seem like it is an initial step. If you're doing nothing, if you're not engaged in the art life in any way, shape, or form, would coloring in a coloring book be a potential step towards greater and greater, bigger and bigger steps in creativity?
Yeah.
Possibly. When we talk about unleashing,
Is it leashed? Right.
Yeah,
when we talk about unleashing your creativity, I'm not really sure
it's not unleashing.
that it's living up to that possibility.
It's like a trickle.
Yeah.
It's like you're letting out the leash.
Yeah.
You
You want to unleash it.
I see.
Right.
You said trickle. I always thought it was trinkle.
That's
I
crazy.
always thought that was
It's
what the
insane.
British called like molasses.
Trinkle.
Trinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's
Mom, what have you been up to? Teaching
Just
Caleb all
scattering
these different words.
Different words throughout the
Good heavens.
throughout the various. I mean, I almost said generations. We're a single generation, but sometimes it does feel like there's
I mentioned that earlier,
Yeah.
where we have
two families.
different
two families.
relationships to.
Top part, the bottom part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, I think that it's if the thing that is leashing your creativity is just being able to sit down and move the pencil on a page, or you know what I mean. This Robin always wants to join our recording sessions.
He's brain
at the
damaged
window.
because he has flown into all of our windows every day for months.
And this is the
Sure,
one.
he's not some kind of window inspector.
I guess I can't. I'm really stuck here because of the way that you've treated me previously in the podcast, Caleb, by not allowing my dumb ideas to be part of anything. I do want to. There is something in me that wants to return the favor and really challenge the reality of what, especially since it's a
It could
level,
be an incredibly
it's- just
smart
wait,
Robin who's been
just-
trained to inspect windows.
Just wait. Especially since it's such an outlandish idea that there's a bird
the bird is inspecting.
that
the
is inspecting windows. I'm so tempted to reject it, but it's simply not in my
He's
nature.
testing the window strength by
do that.
flying headfirst into them. No, these are good, strong windows. I'm going to go
And he's
nest somewhere.
I'm going to report back to my superiors.
Oh. Well, this window is solid. Is there a branch upon which I could alight?
Well, I tested it yesterday, but maybe something happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they are best suited for the job.
They are.
Our fine feathered friends, the Robins. Anyway, I think that if you're the kind of person where just sitting down to do the thing
Yes.
is what's leashing your creativity, that could be a step. But it's like you said, letting out the leash a little bit.
Right.
I think you're still going to feel that tension at some point.
You could do worse. This is
Probably.
this is not a bad first step. If you're really stuck, this might be the first step of your journey to unleash your creativity. It's not unleashing your creativity. To me, there's this weird assumption about how your creativity works that is bound up in this thing that I think is wrong. I just don't think it's how creativity works, that you're going to like find this one little key and turn the key, and then there will be this magic flood of this unconscious that will just pour forth, and then something good will happen because of that. That's not what creativity is.
Yeah.
It's work and it's craft.
If
and
you
it's
want
dedication and it's grit.
If you want what Josh is talking about, then you should take drugs.
That's
Mom.
what drugs do.
Yeah, Mom.
And
take
and
drugs.
and they actually don't even do that. How many
We're actually not
morons
serious.
do you know who you've seen counsel people to like use psychedelic drugs, and they are just notable idiots who are not creative and not capable of doing anything good.
But I think it would work for Mom.
Maybe.
I'm gonna suggest that we do avoid answering a question by with a directive to use drugs.
Here-
I didn't say what kind.
Listen. I think we need to avoid encouraging young people to use drugs.
Okay.
I think people in their 70s,
Yeah.
they're whatever.
Look, it's my mom. I'm not going to
Yeah.
pressure her into taking drugs.
Right.
But Mom, you would be pretty cool.
But you
I bet she's gonna love this.
Mom, I know that Gabe and we do like to talk about how we already think that you're really cool. It comes up a lot
Yeah.
off pod where we're talking about, and Caleb always seems a little bit dubious.
Yeah.
So just so you know,
I love you, Mom, and you're great. But if you did do some drugs, I would think you're cooler.
Yeah.
so that's just something to be aware of. It is something Caleb complains about. If you do want to
Yeah. He
become
is.
cooler,
Well, it was just before
as
the
far as
show.
Caleb's concerned.
Little peek behind the curtain. We usually go through a list of like, here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to do this. We're going to listen. And, we pretty much throw all that out as soon as we start recording.
Right.
But we do also include in that list. Gabe and Josh don't talk about how cool you think Mom is, and
Right.
Caleb don't talk about how much you wish you thought Mom was cooler.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we phrase it.
Yeah.
Well, we
And
tried it, and we
we've been
didn't do
good.
that this time.
We've been
We
good up
didn't.
until today.
We forgot to remind ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing that I also forgot from the beginning is to mention my Substack. My Substack is
Oh, yeah.
sturvinson.substack.com. It'll be linked in the description. We also we kind of used to have more little bits and pieces on each of these episodes, songs and things like that. Those are no longer part of our podcast. Those are on my Substack. Caleb also has a Substack.
I do. It's difficult to spell.
It's been a challenge to get news. It's okay because it is just linked in the description
Yeah.
of the podcast.
That's what you should do. Go to the link
yeah.
if you haven't already.
And if you go on Substack, you can also just type in C Graham S and search that, and you should find Caleb.
Graham
C.
is spelled
Graham
weird.
S. Graham is spelled
Spelled
like
like
a
the name.
normal
Yeah.
name.
It's I think Norton,
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
famous gay UK comedian.
Who has
Yeah,
a
think of
beard?
him.
Caleb has a beard.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have a Substack.
But
I
we would
still don't have
yeah,
one.
we would love Gabe to have one.
Yeah,
and
get
I think
one.
the main issue
free.
is that I just wouldn't have anything to put up there. So maybe if we can get a groundswell of support
Here.
of ideas.
I know what you can do, Gabe.
Okay.
You make a Substack, give me all the information, and I will just post everything you text me.
Okay.
That's an option.
Yeah. I mean that's good.
Yeah.
And let's do it.
Perfect. Okay, look out for that.
And that's going to be
It's
what's
not
that
going to
gonna
be
called?
my messages.
Gonna
It
be
will
called-
just be Gabe's messages to me.
Right.
It's going to be called
It'll be
it's-
kind of a Bob Newhart phone,
Okay.
his
Yeah.
phone bits. We
Yeah.
just hear one side of the conversation.
love that.
It's
kind
going to
of thing.
be like here.
It's going to be called
I'm
Caleb's
here.
is C Graham S,
It's a lot of it.
but mine's going to be it's going to be called C Gabe Text.
Yes.
texts.substack.com.
Texts.
Sounds pretty good.
It does. Now, should mom unleash her creativity?
Is unleashing your creativity something you want to do?
Right. And I don't think she should, because I don't want mom to take any drugs.
I don't want. What?
Wow.
I'm so confused, Caleb. Come on.
Pick a
Yeah.
lane.
Seriously.
You complain about how mom isn't as cool as you think she could be.
Yes.
You suggest that she would be cooler. So it sounds like you do want her to take drugs.
Okay.
So that she would be cooler, unless
This
for
is
some
part-
reason that's just not.
this is where my brain was going.
Okay.
It was, mom obviously kind of wants this creativity or
Right.
something. Maybe I'm inferring that.
I think she's.
I guess I'm
think
inferring
she's
that.
curious.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
need- I don't think
curious
she's
about the
even
creative process.
concerned with that. She just is like, is
Is
how-
this going to do it? And then I was inferring, okay, if mom wants to unleash her creativity, she could take drugs. I do think that would be cool, but is that good? You
Is
know,
it good even to be cool?
It's not. Sometimes it's not good to be cool.
Right.
And so now I'm kind of feeling like I don't. Yeah, if unleashing your creativity is in an instant,
Yeah.
like instantly, is taking drugs, I think that could wake something up, like she said.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see.
Well,
I don't want to see what's been sleeping, if you know what I mean.
right. Yeah. Mom kind of makes like a concept album. That I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I want to hear it.
Interesting. I think if mom wrote a rock opera, I would absolutely
Right.
want to hear that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I guess we should discuss the difference maybe between a concept album and a rock opera.
I mean, I think it's like not all rock operas are, or not all concept albums are rock operas, but all rock operas
You
are
love
concept
this.
albums.
going to be
You love
concept
this
albums.
thing,
I
don't
think
you?
I think it's true.
It's helpful.
No, but some all, but what were we saying? Earlier?
So-
Not
but-
all,
but
butts or
some, I don't know.
earlier we said all butts or sums or
No.
or some all some some.
Yeah, I don't remember, but that's a good callback.
Yep. I think we said all butts are sums.
No, what?
Well,
all both?
I said
check-
something about I
Check
said,
the tape.
Well, we can check the tape. It's ultimately yes, it ended up with alls, multiple like your alls.
Yeah, some alls.
One time my wife saw a billboard advertising collectible toys in like a meal deal,
Yeah.
and it said collect all 2. I never saw it. I don't know if it's real or true, but I choose to believe that it is a real thing.
Yeah.
Collect all 2.
Not just both. Yeah. Come on.
That's what both is for.
That's what both is for.
That's what both is for.
I wish there was a both for 3.
You could say all.
Yeah, but that could mean it's
4.
not specific to 3.
Let's do it.
yeah.
What do you? Well, yeah, it is specific to
Throth?
3.
Yeah, Throth.
Why is both? Because of bi, like
Yeah.
the prefix bi.
Oh, okay. Now, okay.
Collect Throth.
Throth, collect all Throth.
Well,
No,
okay.
it's not all
Yeah,
Throth.
No, it's not
'Cause
all.
you don't say
Throth.
all both.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you can specify with
collect
all
Throth.
if you add the number after.
Collect Throth. Not to be confused
It's like that's great.
with a I don't know. I was thinking like Throth would be like a fantasy slime.
Right,
it does. It seems like it could be.
a slime that could not exist in the real world,
Yeah.
but Throth cannot be something that we have here on Earth.
I mean, it's like a fantasy. It's not a number. What is it? A fantasy part of speech.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What
it's
is both?
Yeah. How does both function? I don't know.
I
Mom,
don't
why
know
didn't you
either.
teach us this?
Yeah.
Why didn't you teach us about both so
Yeah.
that we could be creative and come up with
Throth.
With
We did
Throth.
do it though. We got
managed
there,
Throth.
but this was all on our own.
I do like that both because, it's a word. You're kind of like, yeah, that's fine. Both is fine. It makes sense. But as soon as you introduce Throth, you're like, you idiot. What are you talking about?
I don't think that's true.
That's what I felt. Sorry, that's
Right.
you may be showing my hand here a little bit. That's how
doesn't-
I felt when you guys were saying Throth.
Gabe doesn't like Throth,
I don't like Throth
and that's fine. But we'll be using it
because it's
anytime we can reference three things
if there's
that we're going to be referring to all together.
for one, is it just one?
One is one.
Collect
one is one. Both is for two.
Is for two.
So there's not even we don't even actually need to follow the OTH.
well, you're not triangulating it for sure. It doesn't.
It could
have
be
to.
something else.
It could be
I think.
Thrun.
I think it would help people. I think people would track it really easily if it's Throth.
It
though.
could, but it
Yeah.
could
'Cause
be like
it moves-
Threet.
Could be Threet.
Threet.
Threent. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's
Collect
do a little
Threet.
experiment.
Three doesn't sound right. to
It
me.
has
It
the
sounds
ending
like-
that is like not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
a conjunction of not.
Yeah, but
At the
let's
end.
do a little experiment. You say that all this week every time you refer
Threet.
to three things, and we'll say Throth,
Yeah.
and we'll just see.
We'll see.
I guess we'll just see what happens.
who ends up in a loony bin first.
Threent is good though.
Ultimately, I think that you do not want to unleash your creativity. You want your creativity on a leash. So like that way it's under your control. You can't trust your creativity. You don't know whose yard your creativity is going to get into.
Right.
What messes it might make
true.
there.
Might even run out in the street.
The other thing to consider is that if you unleash your creativity, you might need to spay or neuter your
Oh,
creativity.
that's true.
If you are letting your creativity, I mean, Mom of all people should
Right.
know this. She was for many years a licensed veterinarian, and that's essential. If you're going to be letting your creativity have the run of the place, it needs to be spayed or neutered.
Yeah, keep it on a leash, and you can keep it intact.
Yeah.
And it can be
Fully
can be-
vital.
Exactly.
Yep.
It can reproduce.
Yeah.
You know, it can make new things.
Still be
It's-
creative.
It can maintain its generative energies.
It's unresponsible.
It's what it can make a bunch of mistakes. I guess.
Yeah, it could go make a bunch of mistakes, and yeah, and I mean, wow, I bet Mom's really thinking about a lot of the mistakes she made right now.
Thanks so much for listening to Advanced Answering Techniques. If you'd like us to treat your questions the way that we did our own mothers, then you can send those to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. We're looking for an audio message about a minute in length. Anything else we need to deal with right here at the end, guys?
I've decided I'll do all your guys' ideas.
Thank you,
I'm
Caleb.
gonna do all of them. I'll
And-
put your pages in the book.
Oh, okay.
And I just actually I'm going to circle back after that gesture of goodwill. I am
Yeah.
actually not gonna lie to you anymore. It's not Tinkle and
Right.
you know what was it, Tinkle and
Tinker.
Tinker? That
Yeah.
those you were using those incorrectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And treacle.
Well, I guess I'm
and-
going to. I'll keep what Josh said.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Well, I think that you know, when we're doing bits, one of the core ideas to me that's so important, and when you're practicing this art of improvisation, is a certain amount of yes and. You know what I mean?
Just
To me,
disagree.
it's- to me, it's so important, and it's near and dear to my heart. It's just that we follow the rules of it, and we color inside the lines.
Yeah, I just don't agree.
yeah,
I'm
and I
doing
g-
a different kind. Like
You're being creative, is what you're being, Caleb.
yeah.
Just admit it. Just admit that you're being creative.
I'm being an entrepreneur.
Maybe admit that you've unleashed your creativity.
I don't have it under control anymore.
Right.
You're gonna find an even better way of monetizing improv than just having a school that pays people an exposure the same way that the UCB did for years. I don't know. It seems like a pretty great way of making money off of Hollywood hopefuls.
I just don't know. I feel like I'm going to potentially. I think I'm just getting tired, and I just need to start a business.
There you go. Coloring pages by Caleb
Well,
for very specific people.
mm-hmm.
Speaking
Yeah.
speaking of bye, Caleb. Bye.
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 I'm for sale also.
Love you, Mom.
Bye, mommy.